It started quietly, just a headline buried at the bottom of the news feed. Strange skin condition reported in isolated town. Nobody cared. Why would they? The world was already drowning in stories of disease and disaster. One more virus? Just background noise. But by the next week, the photos started leaking. A teenage boy in a hospital bed, smiling weakly at the camera, except the side of his cheek looked wrong, raw, as if someone had pressed his face against a burning stove and the flesh had peeled away. Doctors claimed it was just a rare bacterial infection, nothing to panic about. But people did panic, especially when more pictures emerged. Whole arms stripped of skin, red muscle exposed, as if the body itself was trying to escape. They called it Nexovir. No one knew where it came from. Some whispered it was a military project gone wrong. Others swore it started in the meatpacking plants, spreading through contaminated food. The truth didn't matter. What mattered was this: the virus didn't kill quickly. It fed. At first, it felt like the flu, fever, chills, exhaustion. But then came the itching. People would scratch, desperate, until their nails tore the skin. And that's when the virus struck, eating through flesh, turning skin into a blackened sludge. Hospitals filled overnight. The air was thick with the smell of rotting meat and bleach. Doctors wore double gloves, triple masks, but it didn't help. One nurse said she watched her co-worker's face begin to sag mid-shift, her lips sliding off her teeth like melted wax. The government told everyone to stay inside. Quarantines, barricades, soldiers on every corner. But it was too late. Nexovir wasn't spread by blood or coughing or food. It spread by touch. One brush against an infected surface, a doorknob, a bus seat, a handshake, and it was already inside you. Soon entire neighborhoods were silent, curtains drawn, houses dark. At night you could hear it, the faint scratching of infected people clawing at their own skin, begging for it to stop. Sometimes there were screams that ended abruptly, swallowed by the wet, tearing sound of bodies coming apart. The survivors, those who hadn't touched anyone in weeks, locked themselves away. Some sealed their homes with plastic sheets, duct tape over the windows, afraid of the air itself. Others carried knives, ready to cut away the infection if it started on them. Few survived the attempt. I wasn't afraid at first. My town was small, far from the outbreaks. But then I saw it. My neighbor, Mr. Hayes, was standing in his yard at 3 a.m. His skin hung in ribbons, dripping down his arms. His jawbones shone white in the moonlight. He wasn't screaming. He wasn't begging for help. He was just watching me, swaying, with a wet grin that no longer had lips to hide it. I slammed my window shut. The next morning, his house was empty. Days bled together. The power grid failed. Internet went black. The only light came from fires burning across the horizon. Whole blocks set ablaze by desperate survivors trying to cleanse their streets. One night, I heard footsteps on my porch. Slow, heavy. I didn't breathe. The doorknob turned, rattling against the lock. Then the scratching began. Not the sound of fingernails on wood. No, it was softer, wetter, like meat dragging against the doorframe. Hours later, silence. But in the morning, I found it. A handprint, dark, oozing, pressed against the glass. The skin inside the print wasn't skin at all. It was fibers, shredded muscle, as if the hand itself had been pressed flat by something desperate to get in. I've been alone for weeks now. The itching started yesterday. Just a patch, small, on my wrist. I keep staring at it, telling myself it's nothing, just dry skin, just stress. But tonight I woke to the sound of knocking, not at the front door, at my bedroom door, and I live alone.